Hey everybody, this is Bauski, and this is my third try trying to do this introduction. Today we have another fun-filled shoutcast for you, thanks to the awesome people at Rcastit. Yeah, that's right, Rcastit, which is a subreddit on, well, obviously Reddit. If you don't know about the community, be sure to check out reddit.com/r/castit, where a bunch of cool people upload replays of themselves playing and get their games casted by amateur casters. If either of those things sound fun to you, like getting your replays casted or trying your hands at casting, be sure to check out the subreddit. Everybody's really nice, and you get to watch cool games, so yeah, win-win, win-win. But yeah, today's players are on this map. Not a very smooth transition. But the map is Belshire Vestige, and the two players we have today are Terran and Zerg. And so I'll start my introductions. On the bottom right, at the 5 o'clock corner, as the red Zerg, we have Risky. And in the top left, at the 10 o'clock corner, shall we say, is the blue Terran from the clan Gosu, Shadye. Shadye. We'll go by Shadye. And if this is 5 o'clock, then I guess this would be 11 o'clock? I don't know. I don't really know. But that doesn't really matter because Risky is already in the game, being as annoying as possible, pushing one worker off and getting that kill. Oh no! He's repairing and he almost gets a kill. But a lot of mining time lost there from 3 possible workers, so good job on Risky's part. And the barracks does go down, but a little later, and Risky gets a nice scout out for what's going on. Meanwhile, Shadye is also sending his own worker down the Belshire Vestige lanes over here to the left. And back at home, Risky is starting his second hatchery, as well as putting down that spawning pool with 70 minerals already in his gas. So he's going to get a pretty quick, I would imagine, Zergling speed. And for those of you who don't know, in Zerg versus almost anything except Zerg, it is always good for Zerg, or it is very normal for Zerg to have one extra base compared to the opponent. And Shadye right now is doing a little bunker placement here just to pull some drones off from mining. And especially with this quick Reaper out here, the Reaper is going to be able to harass these workers until the Zerglings come out, and Shadye is going to be able to put down this bunker if Risky isn't careful. And now Risky gets a nice kill, nice snipe on the bunker there, and Shadye is just gonna have to move his Reaper around, trying to be careful. Double Reapers are out now, and a third Reaper is about to pop out. Speed has started just about 20 seconds ago, so it's not going to be here for quite a while, but the Queens are now in this, and so I think he will be relatively safe as long as he is able to keep the Zerglings and the Queen alive and together. And meanwhile, back at Shadye's base, we have a command center going down now since he has 3 Reapers to harass. He's putting down a factory, getting a reactor, and still stays on 1 refinery, mostly for the gas for the Reapers and now for the factory, and probably afterwards he's gonna get a tech lab and start on those techs. Back at home, this Queen has been taking a lot of damage. A lot of Zerglings have also fallen, and now a spine crawler is going down and more Zerglings are popping out. One of the spine crawler that was being made has been cancelled, and a couple more Zerglings are being killed, but the second Queen is here now to try and help against this, and Shadye, I have to say, he's made Risky pull a lot of things away from what they're supposed to be doing. And a lot of Zerglings have been made from the larva instead of workers. So if we look at the worker count right now, we have 23 drones to 24 SCVs, which is not where you want to be. As I was telling you guys earlier, Zerg versus Terran usually has an extra hatchery. That's usually to get more minerals and more gas, and a place to further get more larvae from. Just because Zerg is a very reactive race and with very cheap units that are kind of throwaway, so you have to be able to continually make units whenever you possibly can. So for Zerg to be down on workers, that would be a fairly bad place to be. Now the worker count is at 38 to 27, but you have to realize that Shadye has both orbital commands down now, so he can get mules, which will give him extra bonus in minerals. So if we look at the mineral count right now, Shadye isn't that far behind. And in fact, if we look at all things considered, with the more gas that Shadye is getting, Shadye is going to be able to tech up much quicker. And not only that, a third command center has been made and is turning into an orbital. So Shadye is going to be able to catch up on the worker count pretty well, unless Risky, I love these names, Risky keeps on very on top of his drone count. 2 evolution chambers have been put down at Risky's base. Still only 1 gas is going, and a layer is finally being made. More Zerglings are also being made. I don't know how good of an idea all of these Zerglings are, especially against this kind of form, but if there's a nice catch, Risky could really do some good damage here. And Shadye is looking somewhere else right now, and Risky gets a full surround, being able to kill all of these units, which is pretty huge, not only because of what he's lost in count of units, but also because of the map control that Risky now has, especially because Risky needs to expand more anyway. So this puts him in a great lead. Back at Shadye's base, he has a bunker set up just in case of any kind of Baneling bust shenanigans that can and happen in this matchup. This time period right now is generally a very Shadye time period when, if any kind of Terran harassment does a lot of damage, Zergs are willing to these days do a very strong kind of Baneling bust. So Shadye not taking any chances, especially with the 3 command centers in his home, especially with that Overlord getting to see this. He has put 3 extra bunkers down at the front, which is, I think, a great idea, and more Widow Mines all over the place just for the shenanigans and funsies. And back at Risky's 3rd base, he's getting a spine crawler, and his 3rd hatchery is now decently saturated. If we look at the income tab, they're still very, very even with the 3rd from Risky here, but it's soon gonna pick up. And so Risky will be slightly higher on the mineral count, but I'm wondering what kind of tech he's going for. I only see Baneling's Nest, and the 1-1 is right now being or 1 melee and 1 carapace is being made for Risky. And now there's some kind of interesting thing going on over here. Risky losing a couple of workers. I wish he had sniped this Widow Mine, but a decent transaction nonetheless. And Shadye pushes his command center closer to Risky's base, which is what a lot of Terrans do. And now more units moving out for Shadye as he moves into the 5 barracks full production with the double medevacs and the Widow Mines. And so it will be interesting to see how... Oh my gosh, another well-placed Widow Mine by Shadye here, taking care of a lot of Zerglings. Thankfully, the drone wasn't taken out, and he's able to make that 4th hatchery away from the closer encampment of Shadye now. And Shadye just following up with another bunker and a couple more supply depots, and now probably setting his rally point for all of his units over here. And he is getting to do some pushes and harassment and yada yada yada. But thankfully, he didn't attack at the earlier timing, and now Shadye is coming up with the muta switch with 13 mutas already on the way. If Risky sees any of Shadye's medevacs trying to go for any drops, Risky is going to be ready to take care of those medevacs. So That's pretty wonderful, and Risky trying to deny that fourth for as long as he can. 3 of Shadye's Marines coming down here now, trying to take out Risky's stuff. One of Risky's Mutalisks accidentally takes a little bit of hurt from that 3 Marine hit squad there. And now, looking at the minerals to gas, we have quite a bit more from Risky now at 2,000 to 1,700. But meanwhile, in the middle of the base, Shadye is now taking a lot of control as he's pushing forward, trying to get a good place of engagement. And yeah, Risky just moving his workers or his Zerglings around, and now his Banelings are coming into play. And yeah, Risky doing an interesting maneuver here, moving his units all over the place. Risky taking picking everybody up, but the Mutas pick off all of these medevacs and do a great job. He's gonna have to be careful about these Widow Mines though, but thankfully he's able to take down a lot of them, and you know, I'd call that a pretty decent fair trade. And Shadye's gonna have to be very careful about these Widow Mines here. But, yeah, or Risky is gonna have to be very careful about these Widow Mines here. Risky just taking care of some extra Marines that have been popping out from different places. Shadye, meanwhile, trying to get all of his upgrades. But he's still only on 1-1, and 2-2 still hasn't started. And if he keeps on trying to poke in at different places but doesn't get anything done, then he's going to start falling behind, especially since 2-2 is almost done for Risky, especially since Muta 1 attack already has gone up. Shadye wants to put down his 4th here, but he can't, and there's a slight engagement in the middle here. Shadye is going to have to be very careful. One good stim could help him out here. He stims, but it's kind of too late, and the Widow Mines start coming in. But the Widow Mines, oh, they do a pretty decent hit, but there's just too much stuff from Risky, and Risky is able to once again deal a lot of damage. And the biggest thing is, if you take down these medevacs, that's just huge stuff here. And now Risky is pushing in all the way inside, dealing a lot of damage here. And Shadye has been pushed back once again to his front, and his bunker goes down. Another bunker is going to have to go in his place. And interestingly enough, instead of going for the mines, Shadye has now decided to turn into Hellbats. The command center at the 4th still hasn't been able to set down. Meanwhile, Risky is staying on 4 bases, trying to get as much done. And now another poke coming in from Shadye here, but not enough units, and another medevac is going to go down right there. Meanwhile, down in the south side here, a couple more Widow Mines are trying to get some interesting hits down over here. Oh, but wow, all of them taken out thanks to this Spore Crawler here who had the range. And back in the middle of the map, or back at his own front of his natural, Shadye is just massing up some more units. But with the lack of medevacs, this is going to be kind of hard to deal with. And then with the lack of Widow Mines, I think almost all Widow Mines except one has been taken care of. And now once he spreads into the creep tumors, the creep Risky is going to be able to know where all the pushes are going to be coming from. And these Zerglings do a nice catch over here. And the other push from the middle is going to be taken down once again. And these Hellbats are doing a nice job, but once they're gone, the Zerglings just kind of have free range. And now Shadye is going to have to go all the way back home again. And I'm surprised that Risky just doesn't take down this 3rd base. Another little push coming in from the side over here, but definitely not enough units to poke in there. And once again, Shadye has transferred back into Widow Mine production instead of Hellbats, and now his 4th has been finally put down, but he's too busy to make this into an orbital or even a planetary fortress and get this rolling at a fuller speed. And the Zerglings have finally come in, and it's not even a planetary fortress, and all of these SVZs are going to have to run back home again. And these Zerglings, ooh, dangerous thing. Meanwhile, there's a push right at Shadye's front here, A nice little Baneling bus goes in. All of these Zerglings go into Shadye's base. And Shadye, although he was able to defend one base, he has almost lost another base. And you know, in fact, he had to raise this base again. And Risky is just pulling from both sides, making Shadye go back and forth, meanwhile putting down his own 5th, and now putting down the Ultra Tech. That will be huge against the Marines. A scan is forced to be used for the command center to be put down at the 3rd again. And no workers have been put back into the... I can't believe these were caught. That is so weird. Wah, wah, wah. Haha. Zerglings getting in there all randomly. All of these Widow Mines have already been used, and now the Zerglings are going to come back from the inside and surround these guys. And the Ultralists, being as stupid as ever, are taking out the Widow Mines instead of taking out the Marines, but it doesn't matter, because Risky just has too much stuff, and now the 4th for Shadye is his 3rd, basically. And he's trying to mine as much minerals as he can, since he's already mined out from his 1st. And there are no workers at his 2nd right now, which is very interesting. The tech composition for Risky right now is Marine, or Mutalisk, and Ultralisk. Ultralisk finally going to be able to take down this one Widow Mine. And this base is finally going to go down with red health. And Infestors are now joining the party, which is pretty much the most ultimate composition for Risky to get into. Risky, meanwhile, back at his base, is done mining at his 1st, and his 5th has finally fully populated. And it's interesting how very close these two are, and these Widow Mines are now going to move into Risky's base, and they could do a lot of damage, but Risky is already anticipating this kind of maneuver and moving all of his guys to the closest defense point. And meanwhile, Shadye is trying to push in from the side here, but he sees what's going on, and these Marauders are going to try to do some damage. Mutalisk is taking a lot of damage from the Widow Mines there, and he's going to have to be careful not to lose a Mutalisk, because Mutalisks are always so great, especially at this period of time. And Shadye doing a nice little drop into the southern corner over here with a pretty strong army. I would like to know what his upgrades are at, so let's check here. It's still at 2-2, however. Meanwhile, Shadye, or Risky, is at 3-3 already, and so he's in a pretty damn good spot, I would say. And Shadye too busy with trying to maneuver all of his bases, setting down another base and defending and whatnot. His drop still hasn't fully made it, and one Ultralisk comes back into Shadye's 3rd, natural 3rd, and more units are moving out now to try and destroy it, but the Ultralisk is in this place, and man, if he burrowed, that'd be awesome. Meanwhile, Shadye finally drops his units into here, and this is a pretty awesome force. It's the Marauders will do tons of damage against the buildings, and the Marines are here to take down any kind of risky Zergling maneuvers that might come back, but the Ultralisks are here now. And just with one medevac that's almost dead, none of these units are going to be able to survive it. The medevac just kind of gives out halfway and stops there. Shadye might be able to put down his 3rd at this point if he feels defended enough, and moving all of his Widow Mines and all of these Widow Mines, he feels safe enough, and he moves out once again to take this 3rd. Meanwhile, Risky is just moving around the map, trying to get his greater spire, moving into that really late game composition of a couple Broodlords to add into this facility to take the Widow Mine hits. Widow Mine hit does go off from all of these Ultralisks, but look at how many Ultralisks there are. It really doesn't matter what happens. All of these Mutas die, sure, but who's going to deal with all of these Ultralisks? There's nothing that can be done, and transfuses are going down. This is like an immortal Ultra army, and another orbital command is going to get down, is forced to lift up, and all of these SAVs once more are almost killed. The medevac is able to get 2 of these. Dangerous movement by the Infestors here, but they joined the party late, so it's okay. And meanwhile, the drop is going down in the 4th of Riskies, and another Spine Crawler going down. But a lot of Zerglings or drones taking some hits. Meanwhile, Shadye tries to push him from the top side as well, taking down as many of Risky stuff as possible, but Risky splits his army, and now Shadye is forced to catch some of his drop, and the Broodlords are out, ladies and gentlemen. Ultralists, Queens, Infestors, and Broodlords have come out. This is the kill engagement, and once Risky feels like he doesn't have to defend anymore, he's just going to push in and throw down. Meanwhile, Shadye is trying to go towards where his third used to be. I'm wondering what he's trying to do. Maybe doing some kind of push through the middle. Here's a medevac trying to get some hits in the middle. And Infestors are putting some Infested Terran down. The Widow Mines quickly get up. Nice fungals on the Widow Mines there. And Risky is trying to just save his Ultralisk until the Broodlords come in, but I don't know if it really matters, just with so much stuff. I don't think he even really needed the Broodlords to commit into this, especially with how low Shadye is in the mineral count there, especially looking at the banks. And that's a GG from Shadye as he leaves the game knowing that he has been defeated, especially against this. If you're in TvZ and you ever see this, well, hopefully by that time you've tech switched to air, because damn, this is scary to look at. But yeah, that's the game. Thanks to Risky for uploading this game on the subreddit rcasted. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to check out rcasted and check out the other great people who cast on there. And specifically, if you want me to try casting, you can email me at bauski.sc2@gmail.com. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys.